I feel energy. I feel thunder. There is power beyond imagining. This must be the strongest Zoid of all. Thus I utter the ultimate name of power. Zoidzilla! Monarch of Machines! I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe. It begins!
The ultra-republic Zoid is born, to the Helican's loyalty is sworn. Towering Godzilla machine in steel, the Gojulas Zoid comes now for the kill. the boss Zoids apart. ARC beam gun strikes at machine hard. TRC linear laser gun shoots. Two-barrel heavy machine gun pursuits. Gojulas tears where there's hyper-blank fangs. Rip and rend vampire Zoids with metal clang. Sound of a surface too heavy gun shoots. Scan the sky for aerial foes en route. Gojulas, ultimate monster machine. Gojulas, the Godzilla sort of scene. Gojulas, burning red eyes and razor jaws. They bombs and venom metal claws. Gojulas, cannons, mightiest guns of all. Overwhelming firepower, sword war call. Mighty Gojulas, greatest helix Zoid. Fade through the empire, hard never destroyed. Gojulas, ultimate monster machine. Gojulas, the Godzilla sort of scene. Gojulas, burning red eyes and razor jaws. They guns and venom metal claws. Gojulas, ultimate monster machine. Gojulas, the Godzilla sort of scene. Gojulas, burning red eyes and razor jaws. They laser guns and metal claws. The money is to room and you have song if you want it you will everything seal fault every day and thou do less through the never claws. Gojulas, cannons, mightiest guns, overwhelming firepower, Zoid war call, mighty Gojulas. Razor jaws, Gojulas, laser guns and metal claws.
Once was a time full of wonder, without war, hate, and enemy. Now you can sense rolling thunder and the magic that's no longer free. In the night I feel them calling from far beyond the sea. Soon comes the time of destruction, when the war began to rise.
Zoidzilla, greatest Zoid bred. Ready for war, Zoidzilla is recharged. His potential for destruction enlarged. But chaos unleashed from Zoid, our power surge. New era on planet Zoidstar emerge. Mighty Zoidzilla, Blue Zoid War Master. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machines. Mighty Zoidzilla, Blue Zoid War Master. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machines. Now the monster machines rule all Zoidstar. Zoids fight in heroic combat bizarre. Till the red Zoids descend from the blue moon. So now the blue Zoids must unite and soon. Now the Zoidzilla now leads the blue Zoids. Heroic guardians with gold androids. Red Horde the terrible leads mutants red. With silver androids and green Zoids start dread. Mighty Zoidzilla, Blue Zoid War Master. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machine. Beset with Crocs, Red Horde is destroyed. Survived only by its silver android. Mighty Zoidzilla basks in its glory. But the black Zoid comes to end his story. Mighty Zoidzilla, Blue Zoid War Master. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machines. Mighty Zoidzilla, Blue Zoid War Master. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machines. Mighty Zoidzilla, Zoidstar disaster. Mighty Zoidzilla, terror on red Zoid screens. Mighty Zoidzilla, unknock of machines.
It is the never-ending battle between red and blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight.
I, the Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.